In this video, we're going to look at the Edit Shape Nodes tool. And what I'm going to do to get started is probably just draw a shape. So I'll just create a star. And when I right click to finish, you'll notice that it starts with the rectangle selection tool. And so when you have the rectangle selection tool, you have all of the different, editing capabilities that come with the rectangle selection tool. Now, if I change to the Edit Shape Nodes tool, notice several differences in the way that this shape appears. Mainly, I have little handles or control points that I could choose to select and then interact with this shape. So for example, if I click on this control point and drag, I've made this ray size smaller. So notice that it actually updated the size of the rays up here. If I change that again, go the other way, it'll update the ray size. I have a handle or a control point at the top. If I click on that one, it allows me to change the start angle, and it updates the information in the start angle. The handle in the middle will allow me to change the position of my shape, and the handle on the outside will enable me to change the proportions, size, and sort of height to width proportions. So you can interact with your shapes using the Edit Shape Nodes tool. Now, that's when you have shapes and you have control points for shapes. We also have, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use, kind of jumping ahead at the moment, I'll create a line and then show you how we can use the Edit Shape Nodes tool to change the shape of the line. So I'll just start with the Create Freehand Shape line tool. And so to use that, I simply click and drag to make a line, right click to stop or complete making that line. And here you can see that the software has drawn my line. And based on a smoothness level of 0, it's put in quite a few control points. Can you see them there? And if I go to the Edit Shape Nodes, they all become something that I could select and interact. Now, before I even do that, why don't I go back and just show you if I turn on the freehand drawing tool again and then turn on a smoothness level. So I'll just turn this up to, let's say, whatever, 8. And then draw a line, similar line. Notice how it, and I'll right click to finish, notice how it smoothed it out, and look how few of those shape points there are now. Now, either way, whether there's lots of them or a few of them, you can interact with them using the Edit Shape Nodes tool. So notice when I have my rectangle selection tool, I can see the line and I could change its size or proportions, but if I turn on Edit Shape Nodes, I'm given the actual points that create that line. And I could first of all select on one and interact with it. I could move it. I could move the location of that point. I can control the tangents that affect how curvy that line is. So see how as I drag this longer, it affects the shape of the line. If you select on a shape point, you can delete them. So if I hit delete, it'll take that out. If I right click over top of a shape, over top of a line, I can add a new node right at that point. If I want to, I can right click on top of a node and make changes to it. So for example, this node is a curved point, and if I say to line, it will take and create a straight line from the previous node to that node. If I select the second one down here and again right click and say to line, it will make it straight, in between the two. And so you can sort of go back and forth between a line, and if I want to, I could right click and say to curve. And same thing, I could select this one and right click and say to curve. Now, it's a curve and it has the curve points to make it curved, but changing it to curve didn't smooth it out. So if I want to, I can also right click over top of this node and say smooth node. And what it will do is it'll take from sort of point number 1 to the third point, point number 3, and specifically where point number 2 is in the middle, and creates an even curve between sort of the first point and the third point. Anyway, we'll learn more about drawing lines and creating nodes, but it's important to understand that we have the ability to use the Edit Shape Nodes tool to interact with shapes and lines and be able to control the exact shapes of our of our objects.